You're a teacher and you really want to start a channel on YouTube. You're not really sure a kids channel or not. Maybe you've already started one. Today, we're going to talk about all the ways that you can make money on YouTube, both for kids YouTube channels and regular YouTube channels, as well as some kids YouTube basics that you need to know before you decide to start a kids channel. I'm also going to note something that I have seen a lot of YouTube creators doing, and it's actually hurting your channel and what you need to do to fix it. By the end of this video, you should know whether you're going to have a regular YouTube channel or a kids YouTube channel and how to make it work best for you as far as making money for it. Ready? Let's go. I'm Jillian, and on this channel, we talk about earning an income by teaching online classes. So if this is something that you want to know more about, make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell notification so you don't miss future videos. Okay, so first, let's take a look at some of the ways that you can make money on YouTube, because there are quite a few. So you can make money from ad revenue, YouTube premium watches, partnerships, sponsorships, selling a product or merchandise, or online classes, affiliate marketing, and then some of the YouTube monetization features like channel memberships, super chat, super stickers, and super thanks. Okay, so let's start with ad revenue, because this is what people are usually talking about when they say like, hey, my channel got monetized. So when you open this video, you probably saw a short ad. Companies pay YouTube to place their ads on YouTube videos. And if you're in the YouTube partner program or monetized, you will actually get a share of what YouTube was paid. So thank you for watching this video, because yes, this channel is monetized. If you have YouTube Premium, you're not going to see an ad, but creators still get money from it. You pay for YouTube Premium, and that money goes towards YouTube creators as well. So the views and the watch hours and all of that, they still count from YouTube Premium watches. In order to be monetized, you need to have 4,000 public watch hours in the last 365 days, or 10 million public shorts views in the last 90 days. If you're wondering, it's way easier to get the long form requirements than it is from the shorts. At least that's my experience and the experience that most YouTube creators have had. These requirements are the same whether you're doing a kids channel or a regular channel. If you already have a YouTube channel, you may have seen the requirements in your dashboard that say you can get monetized with 500 subscribers and either 3,000 public watch hours in the last 365 days, or 3 million shorts views in the last 90 days. So this is a little bit different. It used to be there was only one level of monetization. This is like a lower level of monetization. You're not going to get ad revenue, but you will still be able to like add your own shopping products or do channel memberships, super chat, super stickers, and super thanks. But when people are talking about becoming monetized, they're not usually talking about these, because these don't really make that much money. The majority of your YouTube money, as far as like what YouTube is paying you, usually comes from people watching ads. So now there are also like sponsorships and partnerships. Have you ever been watching a YouTube video where they stop at some point and they're like, and this video was sponsored by, and then the YouTube creator does like this quick little ad break where they talk about the product. So they're actually paid for that. Or sometimes on the kids channels, they might be paid or given free product from like kids toys or kids products or something that they want the kids to see. So those are sponsorships and partnerships. The next way is through selling something of your own. So maybe a product or a course, merchandise. One example of that would be selling like English lessons to students. But you can also earn money through affiliate marketing, and that is when you're selling a product that is not yours. Like you don't own this, it's somebody else's. So for example, it might be like an Amazon tripod, and I can say the link to this tripod is in the description box. You click that link and you buy something from Amazon, and then Amazon gives me a percentage of whatever you bought. It doesn't cost the person buying anything extra. It's just kind of like a thank you for advertising our products for us. It's like part of their advertising budget, right? So if you go to a lot of YouTube videos, they're going to have things that they use, like links to their camera or something they showed in the video, something that they think that you might like. Whenever someone makes a purchase from that YouTuber is going to get a little like cut, like a little throwback from the company. So now we know how you can make money on YouTube. And I know that that's really, really exciting, but not all of these are available to kids' channels. So kids channels have a lot of restrictions on them because of the Coppa Act. YouTube is not allowed to collect information for advertisers from kids' videos. So advertisers are going to pay more money to have their videos shown to people that they already know have an interest in what they're selling, and they pay less money to just have it like generally shown, right? So on the kids' YouTube, for example, you might have a 3-year-old that is watching like Coco Melon and like Blue's Clues or Paw Patrol. And then you've got a 12-year-old who's more interested in Minecraft and video games. Advertisers are going to pay way less to have their Minecraft advertisements shown because some of those people might be more interested in Bluey, and vice versa. On regular YouTube, the ads that you see, that's something that YouTube got from the information they collected from like your Google search history, your YouTube history, and these advertisers are paying a higher premium to show these videos to you because you are the audience that they want to hit. So because it's more of a hit or miss for the kids content, it's not as expensive for advertisers. This means that for your ad views, you're not going to be making much on kids content. For an example, you might be making $10 for every 1,000 views that are watched on your regular YouTube channel. But on your kids channel, you're going to be getting paid a lot less. You might be making like $1 for every 1,000 views on your kids YouTube channel. And for shorts, it's even less. You might be making, say, like 11 cents for every 1,000 shorts views, but on the kids channel, you might be making less than a penny. So if the purpose for you creating a kids channel is going after ad revenue to monetize your channel, just know that you're going to need way more views as a kids channel to hit the same numbers. Maybe you are not interested in ad revenue. Like, it's cool, but it's not your main purpose. You really just want to start a channel so that you can tell people about your classes and you teach kids, so it makes sense to make a kids channel, right? If that's your goal, I would really recommend to not do a kids channel. And there are a few reasons for this. So first of all, kids are usually not the one with the purchasing power. Maybe to a certain extent, like my kids saw like the same cool color changing mermaid Barbie doll like 100 times on YouTube, and she really wanted it. So I went out and I got it for her. But as far as online lessons go, the kids aren't usually going to be the ones saying like, Mom, I really, really, really want to take this class. Unless you're my 13-year-old. And your hobby is learning languages, then you might have a chance. But I don't think there are a lot of kids that are into that. Plus, she's over the YouTube age too, because when we're talking about kids, we're talking about 12 and under. So right now, I could tell you that if you want to know more about monetizing your YouTube as an online teacher, we are currently doing a month-long boot camp to teach you exactly how to do this. So you're going to learn exactly how to set up your YouTube and your Facebook for success and get it running in less than 30 days so you can start making content and enrolling paying students. If you're interested in starting a YouTube channel, click that link in the description box and join our boot camp. So if I had something for kids, I could tell the kids that too on my YouTube channel. But honestly, the kids aren't clicking links. They're usually just clicking through videos. If anybody has a kid, they know this, right? And the parents aren't usually watching kids' YouTube with their kids. For most parents, the purpose of having a kid's YouTube is so they don't have to worry so much, and they can like go out and do dishes so they don't have to worry so much about their kids watching like all that crazy stuff that's on YouTube. So the way that kids channels usually monetize is through like partnerships and sponsorships and ad revenue. And I know we already talked about ad revenue. If you're looking at it for ad revenue, do not be discouraged, because there are some kids channels that make a ton of ad revenue. So it's definitely possible. But if you're looking at it to teach lessons and to promote your online classes, I would highly recommend not doing it. If you are looking at starting a kids channel because you love doing it and not so much to enroll your students into your lessons, by all means go for it. If you're doing it to get students into your classes, do not do a kids channel. Do like a family channel or a channel for their parents. Now, when I say do a family channel, I don't mean like do a kids channel, but just don't click that it's for kids, because that's going to get you into a lot of trouble. You can get demonetized and your channel can get completely shut down. So YouTube has AI tools. And these AI tools are actually going to scan through your videos and they're going to determine like, yes, it's for kids. And then because they are AI tools, sometimes they're wrong, and they actually have humans that go through and review, like if you dispute that and say, hey, it wasn't for kids, humans will actually go through and look at it. And then they also take all of those videos that were reviewed by AI and they have humans look through like a certain percentage of them randomly just to double check to make sure everything's going smoothly. One of the teachers that I work with, she actually had her videos that were being incorrectly flagged as kids content because she was talking to the parents on how to use like a puppet to teach their kids something. The AI scanned it. They saw that there was a puppet there. They're like, boom, puppet. Okay, it is definitely for kids, and they marked it as kids content. She disputed it and it got put back as not kids. So they do have humans that will go through and look at them to see if they are actually kids videos or not. But don't check that box. Don't say it's not made for kids unless you're actually not making it for kids. When I say a family channel, I mean you're posting it like either as a family vlog, like the Holderness family, one of my favorites, or you're posting it, for example, for moms. You are speaking to the adults in the family and you're creating content for them. So I'm going to give you an example. Maybe you are teaching kids and you want to enroll kids in your lessons, right? So instead of creating a kids channel, which has all of these limitations, you create a parenting channel that talks about educating children. Now, I know I promised to tell you something that I see a lot of people doing wrong. So here we go with that one. Don't upload it as kids content if you aren't creating kids content. So I see a lot of creators that are hitting the like, yes, this is made for kids button when they upload, because they think like, hey, like it can be watched on the kids channel too. It can be watched on the kids channel and a regular YouTube channel. I have more reach. And then their video is uploaded as a kids video. And one way you can see this is if you are, well, it will actually tell you, but if you're watching it and then you like go and you like minimize it and go down to the mini player, or you like go to like send a text message and the video stops and it says like, oh, mini player isn't available for kids videos. That's one way that you know that it's. And I'll see this happen. I'll be watching a video and I'm really into it. And then like I swipe up and like go into the mini player and it stops. And I'm like, really? This is about making money. Why'd they do that? Like, this isn't for kids. This is actually going to hurt your channel's reach. And if you're monetized, your ad revenue payout is going to be a lot less. So the comments are turned off the kids YouTube for safety reasons. I don't think I have to explain that much more. You've seen some of the comments on YouTube. When a viewer comments, they're actually like pushing it up in the algorithm. They're telling YouTube like, hey, this video was good enough for me to comment on it. I like this. Show me more. And then YouTube is like, okay, we're going to show you and people like you because you guys like the same stuff and you commented on it. So they probably will too. I'll give you an example too. There is a YouTuber out there called Dude Dad. Love his channel. He's funny. He posts family-friendly content. For years, he was like stuck in like the kids' YouTube channel. He kept like appealing it with YouTube and they kept marking it as kids content. And we couldn't comment on his videos. For your audience, you want to be able to engage with your audience too, right? Like you want that feedback from them and you want that kind of like community that YouTube almost creates. So you want viewers to comment for so many different reasons. Eventually, Doodad got it lifted. He has expanded his business even more. He has a parenting book for dads and he sells merchandise and he's got a lot of really cool things going on. Now that that's lifted, he doesn't have all those restrictions. And I'm sure his money from his ads have gone up a ton as well. By the way, I feel like this is a really good time to tell you to like this video, give it a big thumbs up if you learned anything new. And when you do this, it's going to help my channel by telling YouTube like, hey, more people like you might like this. So if you do like it, thank you. Now, if you accidentally clicked that it was for kids, or maybe you did so thinking that it would get more reach, you can still go back to your old videos and change that in the settings. And then for the future, you can actually make that one of the auto settings that like, hey, all of my videos aren't for kids. And then you can change it individually if one does happen to be for kids. Let me know if you want me to show you a video on how to do that uploading part of it, and I will make you a quick tutorial. So now that you made it this far, it's time to think. Do you want to make a kids YouTube channel and make money through like ads and possible sponsorships and partnerships? Or do you want to make a channel for people who have kids and have them enroll their children into your classes? There is no right or wrong answer here. By the way, it really depends on what you want. And some of these kids' YouTube channels bring in a ton of money. So let me know in the comments which way you're going to go. Are you going to make a kids channel or a regular YouTube channel? This is important. Don't go yet. No matter what kind of YouTube channel you decide to make, you need to know who your intended audience is. So unless you're doing like those like prank style videos or comedy or something, your intention probably should not be to go viral. If you are a teacher and you're looking to build a teaching channel, you really want to make sure that you're reaching the right people. So stop and think, what does your audience want to see? Like, who do you want to watch your videos and what do they want to see? What are they typing into the search bar? Why would they come to your channel? What's going to hold their attention and what is going to help them? You want to hold their attention. You want them to come back tomorrow and the next day. And once you've figured that out, like what they want to see, what can help them, what they're coming for, go back and take a look at your channel. Are you hitting those points? Is what you're posting on your channel something that you would want to see if you were them? If not, what do you need to change it? What do you need to do to make it so that it is? Every once in a while, just kind of like go back and do like a YouTube channel review. Am I still hitting the target? Okay, maybe I like veered off a little bit. What do I need to do to come and bring it back? By doing this, you can effectively grow your YouTube audience with the right people, the people who are going to want to buy your services, buy your products, enroll in your online classes, or just help you collect ad revenue. So now I want to know, I talked a lot about a lot of different things. Out of all of the key points that I made in this video, which was the one that stuck out the most to you? And more importantly, what action are you going to take on your own YouTube channel? If you have a YouTube channel, by the way, go ahead and post it in the comments. I will go and check it out. By the way, if you like this video, YouTube told me that you might like this one that's over there, so I will see you over here.